Okay, we'll start today's session and start the recording. Okay, today we move on to next topic in our sixth module, that is key management and distribution and user authentication protocols. So start off with key management and distribution. How we are going to distribute the keys. Okay, generally, this key distribution comes into picture whenever you are using symmetric key algorithms, where you're going to use the same key for encryption and decryption, right? So at those areas we'll be having this key distribution issues, right? For this, we already came across a method called key distribution center called KDC. That is, it is a trusted third party where all the users will be registered to the particular third party trusted party, so that anyone who want to communicate with among the other users, they have to contact the KDC to get the session keys, then the conversation will begin, right? So there are different ways you can able to arrange KDCs. These things we discussed in the previous classes itself, right? What even the session keys, okay, and how a session key will be created. That is, use any user, for example, Alice who want to communicate with Bob means Alice will send a request to KDC, that is to whom you want to communicate. Then KDC will give a packet for Alice as well as for Bob. The Alice packet will be encrypted using the key which will be known only to Alice and KDC. It will have a session key. Then it will contain a packet which is be intended to the person called Bob, which will be encrypted using the key called K suffix B, which is a key known only to KDC and Bob. So this packet will be transmitted to Bob so that Bob can able to open the packet and he can able to get the session key. This is a basic uh, process which will be involved whenever KDC comes into picture. Okay. So now we move on to the new topic, that is one protocol which is a prominent protocol which have been used called Needham-Schroeder protocol. I'll better explain it with the diagram. Okay, how the process works. So here we have these entities, K suffix A, which is a key which is known only to Alice and KDC. K suffix B is a key, secret key known to Bob and KDC. And KAB is nothing but the session key. This session key is a thing which is required between Alice and Bob to perform the communication. KAB as well as the diagrammatic representation is of the key both means the same session key between Alice and Bob. And KDC stands for Key Distribution Center. And here comes a new parameters called RA and RB. RA is something called as Alice nonce and RB is something like Bob's nonce. This Alice nonce is nothing but a secret key, a secret value kind of stuff, which is known only to Alice. And R suffix B is again a secret value which is known only to Bob. So how the communication here begins in the sense, Alice will start communicating to KDC, stating that Alice want to communicate with Bob, and this is the nuance of Alice, R suffix K. Once KDC receives this information, he will check the authenticity of Alice if he is a registered user under KDC. Then KDC will reply to Alice with a double encrypted packet, where you have a packet which is called as ticket, which is intended for Bob, and outer ticket which is intended for Alice. Where the outside ticket will carry the again this nuance of the Alice, that is RA, Bob, and the session key. Okay. And this thing is encrypted using KA, whereas the inside packet is encrypted with KB, which is can be opened one and only with Bob, right? So once Alice receives this packet, he will open the outer packet and will send the unopened packet which has been intended for Bob, and this will be transmitted to Bob. Once Bob receives the message, he will open and he will take the session key. So now what Bob will do in a sense, here comes a new part compared to the conventional method. Bob will transmit his nuance value, that is RB, encrypted using a session key. So now to ensure that Alice will also have the same session key in the sense, he will send the packet to Alice. What Alice will do in sense, Alice can open the key one and only if has KAB with him, right? So Alice will open this packet And again, what he will do is he will decrement the nuance of Bob with the value 1. Again, he will encrypt using KAB and retransfer it to Bob. So once this step is over, then only Bob will come to know that, okay, the proper session key has been shared between Alice and Bob. Then they will start the transmission of data. So anyone have any doubt in this one? You can ask. If it is clear, kindly raise your hands. On to next protocol called Otway Rees protocol, which is also a prominent protocol where your KDC comes into picture. Okay, I'll directly jump into the diagram to explain the steps, and whatever the steps which I have explained for Needham Schroeder is explained in this slide itself. Okay. Similarly for Otway Rees also. So here also we are using the same numerologies here, that is Ka, Kb, Kab, except here we have an extra numerology called R, which is called as a common nuance. And the unique thing here in the sense you can able to see the transmission initially starts from transmitter to receiver, or you can able to say from client to server directly. Then only the KDC comes into picture from second step onwards. This is a unique part of Otway Rees protocol. You can able to see Alice is transmitting a message called Alice, Bob, and the common nuance, right? Or which is unencrypted. This is an unencrypted packet, whereas inside this one, it is having the same thing with an extra value of RA, which is a nuance known only to Alice. And this is encrypted using KA. KA is nothing but a key known to only Alice and KDC, right? So once Bob receives, Bob will can able to see only the outer values, and he will be transmitting the unopened KA packet along with KB encrypted value of Alice Bob. The common ones are along with the nonce belong to Bob, that is RB. Okay. Once KDC receives both the packet and it ensures both the registered, means it can able to open both the packet and it can able to send the data, that is having the common ones outside KB and KA encrypted value. Inside KB it has the nuance of RP and the session key, and inside this KA packet it has RE, that is nuance known to Alice, and the session key for Alice. So once it is received, Bob can able to open his intended packet and send the other packet to Alice, where Alice can able to open and take the session key. And at last, the common encryption process begins by the usage of the session key. If you compare this Otway Rees and Needham Schroeder, you can able to see in Needham Schroeder, most of the transaction is happening between Alice and KDC, that is client and server, or you can as a client and KDC, or you can able to say transmitter and KDC. Most of the transactions, okay. Whereas Bob's involvement is less. Whereas we see in Otway Rees protocol, the receiver or the server's interaction is more compared to the person who is going to intend for transmission of message. Right. So anyone have any doubt in this one? You can ask me. If it is clear, kindly raise your hands, guys. Because these are very basic protocols. Let's we move on to one of the important KDC based protocol. That's why. So these things should be clear from your point of view. Next, we move on to a protocol called Kerberos, one of the famous authentication protocol, and which is also still in use. Okay. So if you see the Kerberos, it is nothing but an authentication service based protocol. Okay, especially for hosts which are being involved in untrusted network, that is like internet and other stuff. If you are using any open platform or open forum of communication, Kerberos will play a major role in authentication. So this Kerberos can be found in present day operating systems like starting from Windows, Apple, Linux, and other OS also. And the Scarecrow is also developed in MIT under a project called Athena. If you remember the name Scarecrow, is nothing but a three-headed god dog which belongs to Hades, which can be seen in Greek mythology. Here they kept the same name because here we have three prominent entities which play a major role in authentication service. So if you take Kerberos, here the authentication server will ensure the authenticity of users to servers as well as servers to users. So Kerberos will authenticate both the parties, that is both the persons who are involved in a transmission. Okay. So if you take a Kerberos, it has a server and a database which will be used for client authentication. And as we know that KDC is always a trusted third party will be present here. So since why they chose a name called Kerberos, because of three heads, that is a client, server, and a KDC. These three things act as a backbone for the Kerberos, so they kept the name as Kerberos. And then what objective or aim this protocol has been built upon? In a sense, first thing is nothing but the user's password must not travel over the network. Since Kerberos is a application-oriented authenticity service protocol, which will be especially used when the users are involved in an untrusted network or platform. Here they must ensure that the password must not travel over the network. Otherwise, it would have been gone to the public, right? Secondly, the user password should not be stored in any form on the client machine. Server can store, but the client should not be allowed to store the password. And if the user password has to be, saved in a server or database, it should not be unencrypted. It should be always in encrypted format alone that the passwords has to be saved. And the user will be asked only to enter the password only once per work session. Per work session since once you start the communication, at that moment alone, you'll be asked to enter the password. Once you go out of the communication and if you again rejoin, then you'll be asked to enter the password. Okay. So for one work session, you'll be asked to enter the password only once. And the authentication information will be always centralized and it will be present one and only with authentication server. And here the application servers also will have to prove their authenticity to the client. So then only will be having a mutual authentication. So if we see the outline of how a Kerberos server will work on. In the sense here the KDC has two parts, which is a new to compared to other protocols. Okay. We have seen users, that's the client and the server, okay, and the KDC. So in this, inside the KDC, we have two servers called authentication server and a ticket granting server. That is, authentication server will take care of authenticating the users, okay, and the applications, whereas your ticket granting server, once every authenticity is approved, then only the ticket granting server will issue the keys and other stuff for sharing of the key. Okay. So if you see the general operation how it works in sense, the user will request ticket for TGS to the authentication server. It can't directly contact TGS. This request ticket for ticket granting server will be sent to authentication server. Once authenticity is okay, then authentication server will give a key called Alice TGS session key. That is a key which will be used only with between Alice and the session, TGS, that is a ticket granting server. Using this ticket and the ticket for TGS, then only can able to reach TGS using this session key called Alice TGS session key. So again, a request ticket for Bob will be sent to TGS using Alice TGS session key. Once it is confirmed, then TGS will send Alice Bob session key and the ticket for Bob from TGS. So this will again be sent as a request to Bob. Once Bob accept, then only the access will be granted. Then the conversation will continue. This is a basic outline. We'll have a detailed discussion in the upcoming slides. This is a basic outline of how a Kerberos will work. That is, we have a separate server for authentication and a separate server for providing the session keys or tickets here. So if anyone have any doubts so far in Kerberos, you can ask. If it is clear, raise your hand, please. Then only I can move on to detailed discussion. That's fine. Okay, thank you guys. So whatever just said about this authentication server TGS and real server is nothing but your Bob and Alice, that is your client and servers. This shows the clear picture about the entire operation. And there's a small correction in the abbreviation parts, that is in numerologies. Actually here, this KATGS should be KASTGS and this is KATGS. Otherwise, you have to change this to. First, if you see hyphen AS is nothing but an encryption key known to Alice and the authentication server. KTGS and B stands for key known to TGS and Bob. KATGS is nothing but encrypted with Alice TGS key, not AS. AS stands for authentication server, but here it should be ATGS, that is a session key known only to Alice and this is that one, ATGS. Okay, should come here. Whereas this one, KASTGS is nothing but encrypted with ASTGS session key. This is ASTGS. This both should be interchanged. Whereas KAB is the final session key which is required for the communication purpose. So and here for the nonce, they're using a timestamp. So timestamp will be unique because one timestamp will be different from other timestamp. We can't able to repeat a timestamp always. Okay. So if you see the process, first Alice is authenticating himself that he is Alice to authentication server. Once authentication server confirms okay he is a authentic person, then he is sending the data which is required for Alice to communicate the ticket granting server. So here he is sending two envelopes, one inside another. One is a ticket required for TGS. So inside this one, it is the information which is has to be transmitted to TGS. So it is logged using KASTGS. This is KASTGS. That is key known to only AS and TGS alone. Okay. Whereas outer packet is encrypted with KAAS. That is key which is known to Alice and authentication server. And inside this, it has a key which is required by the Alice to communicate with TGS. So it has a key called key ATGS. That is Alice TGS encryption key. So once it is received, it can open the outer packet. It can take the key called ATGS. Now it is transmitting Bob. That is a value called Bob. That you want to communicate with Bob along with the nuance. The nuance is a timestamp, and this timestamp alone is encrypted using KATGS, which is key known to Alice and TGS alone. And this unopened packet, this ticket for TGS is again sent to TGS. Now TGS will open both the packets and it will ensure whether it is authentic or not. Okay, if both are fine, then it is sending packets which are intended for Alice and Bob. So Alice packet will have information of Bob and the session key, that is AB, which is encrypted using KATGS, which is known to key known to Alice and TGS, and the ticket is required for Bob, which is encrypted using KTGSB along with who is going to communicate. So Alice and the session key for Alice and Bob AB. So this will be opened by Alice. Okay. And what Alice is doing in sense is using the session key KAB and encrypting the timestamp alone and the unopened packet, and both are sent to server Bob. Bob will open this one, and in order to prove his authenticity, what he will do in sense so that because since Bob is going to open this packet and take the session key, using this key alone, he can able to open this packet. So in order to prove his authenticity, Bob will open this packet and decrement the timestamp value with 1, and again he will send it to user using the encrypted key of KAB, that is the session key. So once the sixth step is over, then Alice will come to know that it successfully shared the key with the intended server called Bob, and now he can able to perform the encryption decryption process. Anyone have any doubts in this one? You can ask me now. If it is clear, raise hands. If you have any doubts in the process or any step means, you can ask me so that I'll repeat. Okay, guys. So whatever I just said, it is explained here. Okay. And whatever we just discussed is it belong to Kerberos version 4. If we see version 5, there are only certain changes. That is, the ticket lifetime is somewhat longer. Okay, and there will be an option called renewability of the tickets, and it can also accept any symmetric algorithm. Whereas version 4 can able to accept only certain algorithms, whereas here it can able to accept any algorithm. And here they started using different protocols in the sense it comes under MAC layer and network layer. Okay, different protocols for describing different types of data, like whether it can be text or image or a video or audio. So for different types of data types, they are using different protocol. And version 5 will have more overhead, that is more redundant data compared to version 5, so version 4. There is a term called realm, which is nothing but a global distribution of your authentication servers and ticket granting servers. That is, it's like a if you are having a hierarchical based KDC, how we are going to deploy different KDC for different state, nation, and continent and the global wise. Right. Same way, there is a term called realm where you are going to globalize your authentication server and TGS. Okay, so that anyone, any local server can able to access any remote server around the globe using this globalized distribution of AS and TGS. Okay. With this, we are concluding the key distribution here. Okay.